Well, today we've got something maybe a little bit different than normal, which is that we're gonna count modes of transportation over the course of the day. And I think the first 2 or 3 are gonna be familiar, but it's gonna get pretty interesting after that. Let's do it. So this is Kurobe Dam, which is the tallest dam in the country. Started construction in, I think, 1950s and was finished in the 60s. Still the tallest dam. And the couple of stages of transit that we just went through were actually first built to help construct the dam, to get everything up here into this like remote valley. Because previously they had no real way to get materials in and out. And then everything that we get on after this, which is another couple of steps, is added afterwards in the 70s for tourism, which is what I'm doing. Hopefully we're going to hike one of these hills back here that's not a super intense hike, but as you can see, we're getting some snow. And there's going to be a blizzard tonight, so it's kind of touch and go whether they'll actually let people hike for safety concerns. But we'll see. So this whole area around the dam is like an absolute anthill. In terms of all the tunnels that are just built into the cliffs here. And looking outside, you can really tell why. Like the valley is so steep that there's really no other way to get around. And so, you know, the question is kind of like, why build a giant dam out here? And a big part of the reason is, so since the dam is built in the 50s and 60s, it's basically they needed more power, more electricity for the post-war boom that Japan was going through. They needed to power the economy, which is why they invested so much into building a giant dam out here. And now, you know, a couple decades on, the tunnels are really kind of spooky. done by tomorrow morning, but it is snowing pretty good right now, actually. Probably doesn't show up too well on the camera, but it's coming down, and really no views thanks to that.
Is directly below the main peak of Oyama in the Tateyama mountain chain.
It's winter up here. It is totally winter up here. That's not a normal cloud. That's steam, baby. Check this out. So that's my hotel for the night. And the, you can barely see it here, but the station that I got here is way back over there. And I did not realize how far away from the station this hotel was. It's a pretty easy walk, but I think it's like probably the farthest one out from the station. So probably should have checked a map there before I booked it. It's actually pretty nice out here though. Like it was totally overcast a little bit ago, but now I'm getting just a little bit of light coming through and kind of see around the mountains. So our goal peak is somewhere up there for tomorrow. That up there on that saddle is the halfway point for tomorrow. So I think we should at least be able to make it to there, and then we'll have to check the conditions for that steeper part that actually gets to the top. It is so quiet in here. There's maybe 3 or 4 people staying here today. Makes sense, it's a Monday. But I have never been in a place this just totally empty. But they have a fireplace back there, and I think I'm gonna go hang out and read a book for the rest of the day. I'm not sure I'll be able to get it on camera, but after a relaxing evening there, I'm off to the bath, which I can already smell headed down here to it, just the sulfur, because it's definitely coming it's coming right out of the ground. This whole side of the building smells like eggs, and I Could not be happier. I'm so ready. Here we go. So like, where the heck are we, right? The mountain and kind of the area broadly, specifically like that whole thing, which encompasses kind of a few peaks within it. It's called Tateyama. And Tateyama is one of, historically, the most sacred mountains in Japan. And so what do I mean by sacred, I guess? Going back a long ways, hiking here was actually less of a sport and more of a form of like religious practice. So people would climb the mountain to sort of pay respect to the mountain god and pray for rain or something along those lines, right? You know, among other things. And it wasn't really until the late 1800s when an English Anglican missionary named Walter Weston came to Japan and started hiking for sport and sort of made this area specifically what he sort of popularized as being called the Northern Japanese Alps. And so he was one of the first foreigners to climb out here, including this mountain, Tateyama, as well as a bunch of others in this mountain range. And sort of from there, hiking began to become more popular as a sport rather than just a form of religious practice. Which I think is kind of cool, that we get to go and hike something that he hiked all those years ago. That over there is where I stayed last night. So Tateyama is the mountain, but down here in the plateau where I still am is known, or at least part of it's known, as Raicho Sala. It's like Raicho River. And a Raicho is, well, the English name is like rock ptarmigan or something like that, which I had to look up the pronunciation of that word because it's kind of messed up. So it's literally translated as kind of like thunderbird in Japanese, allegedly because they come out in dawn and dusk where it's more likely to be a thunderstorm up here, and they're kind of in some cases considered like a messenger from the gods sort of deal, or at least traditionally maybe. Now they're really just kind of a sign of good luck for hikers because they only live in alpine regions of Japan like this, and they're especially hard to spot in the winter because they turn totally white. I can definitely hear a few of them around, but I don't know if I'll be able to actually see one. But hey, maybe we'll get lucky. I've gotten a little ways away from the main kind of plateau area with the hotels, and so now I'm kind of into the mountain area. So you'll notice my gears changed a little bit. Put on my helmet. It's not quite steep enough yet to go for the ice axe, though I do have my hiking poles out because they help going uphill. And, well, I mean, you also notice I'm losing layers every time that I turn the camera on, because walking is a great way to get your body heat up. And another piece of equipment is this little guy over here. This guy. Which is an avalanche beacon. Normally used for backcountry skiing, which is super popular out here in the winter. I think it's a bit overkill for the amount of snow and the general part of the season, but definitely a good thing to have, especially deeper into the season, because there is definitely an avalanche risk out here. So we're staying safe. And this is actually if you don't have one of these, which I don't, they make you rent them at the bus terminal. You get off, and if they see you with a hiking bag, they just catch you right away. And they're like, you're required to rent this before we'll let you go hiking. Which, honestly, I think is probably a good idea. Anyways, we're headed up to that first saddle there, and see how it goes. This is better weather than I could have imagined. And maybe as a result, might be able to see there's a couple people coming up. There's maybe 6 people below me and probably at least 2 or 3 above me. So we're not totally alone out here, which is so reassuring. That was the main thing I was really worried about last night. I was just being out here totally by myself. This is awesome. Let's keep going. I don't know if it's going to show up very large on the camera,
But straight out in front here is Mount Fuji. And you can see the Northern Alps, the Southern Alps, a few others that I honestly should know but can't pick off the top of my head right now. This is insane. So as you can see here, I'm doing something that's a little bit new to me out here, which is laying the path, which they call the trace, or the path that people have broken through the snow. Makes it a lot easier to walk, helps you know where the path is. This is maybe my first time setting a trace on a slope like this, so this is really cool. No one's been out here this far yet. This is absolutely incredible. Like the clouds. I'm up here basically by myself. It looks like some other people are coming over right now, probably because they saw me do it and realized it was possible. And like the amount of other hills I can see, the mountains I can see, all over the place. It's like, I'm at a loss for words. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. Well, I'm back on a kind of neighboring summit. So that's where I just climbed up to. And then that's where we started. So we came up over here, up around, back up this side, up here, to here. And we were kind of sort of advised not to do that section because it's a little bit narrow. And so now there's a couple people went over there because I went over there and they realized it was kind of, you know, possible. So I'm kind of waiting over here to make sure that they get back okay, because I would rather there be someone up to kind of watch and make sure they don't fall. It's a bit hard to pick out from up here, but that is actually Kurobe Dam down there. So the whole shenanigans to get up here yesterday involved coming up to that dam and then under this whole mountain over out to this side in Urono. Finally on my way down. Just a little bit left here and we'll be out. And we've done the hardest part of it, which is that. But man, this is just such a good hike. I don't want to leave. It's amazing. It's hard to believe I was just up there.